Somehow I got dust on my pants. How do I look? Does this sweater look ridiculous, guys? Editing Melody to fill in the voiceover where my audio cut out. I'm basically saying that I bought this cool Irish wool sweater. Green sweater that was what I always wanted, right? And it was too long. I was like, if this is too long, it looks weird. It looks weird. It was just a wrong length for me. And so I was like, I'm gonna be a genius. I'll shorten it. And like many hair cutting fails, I went too short. And now it's a weird cropped sweater and it looks like it's like a kid's sweater and I'm wearing it as a grown-up or something. Please ignore it. It's fine as long as you can't see my black shirt underneath. So maybe if I like really hike the pants up. Good? Good? Perfect. I set up this little living room because I thought it would be cute, but I just don't know. I tried to make a little living room thing because I thought it would be cool, but for one thing, it was having a hard time like separating from the background. And for another, when you are a curvy person, sitting in short sitting period, but then sitting in short little chairs is just not flattering. So we had to go a different route. So, okay, the title of the video, I gave 350 photos away to random strangers on Unsplash. This is something I kind of mentioned a little bit in my last video. So if you don't know, Unsplash is an online platform. I sound like I'm like advertising for them. I'm not. I'm in no way affiliated with them. But it's an online platform where photographers, yeah, I think it's just photos, but photos can be uploaded for anyone to then go and download and use for free. So typically, you know, the way that it works is if a photographer has work, if they want to sell said work or if people want to use said work, you need to either buy it or somehow get copyright permission from the owner. And Unsplash has kind of done this thing where they have made it really easy for people just to find images for free that they know that the owner is basically letting, you know, the copyright go, essentially. So you can take photos from Unsplash and use them for whatever you want. I think you might even be allowed to sell them. That part's a little sketchy to me, but you can just use them. You can use them on your blog, you can use them on your website, which also sketchy to me because someone could literally go on Unsplash and create a wedding photography website just using images from Unsplash and act as though those are their own images. So there's things like that that are like a little sketchy. Because someone can take these and do whatever they want with them. I also don't know if AI is allowed to be trained off of Unsplash. That would be another thing. If you don't know about the whole AI and art situation, the problem right now is that there have been AI that were trained off of copyrighted images. And so then what can happen is they're basically using copyrighted things to create new things, which is wrong. And so I don't know how that works as well. So there's all these random little things that's like, like people can just do whatever they want with my images. The reality is though, it's not as if like people are still stealing images. I had an image that was taken off of Pinterest recently, which I'm sure many people have downloaded it off of Pinterest and I just never found out. But I was scrolling on Instagram, like just super randomly, I was scrolling on Instagram, came across a reel, watched the reel, and the reel was like, it was first a shot of a guy and a quote, and then like after like a sentence, and then after that little like first blip, there was like all these images that were, you know, put together to match with the theme. It was kind of cute. And one of my photos that I shared on Pinterest was used in that. And that was technically theft because I was never asked permission for that, especially because that reel specifically was not just like a content creator uploading things for themselves. It was a media company had made that reel as a deliverable for a client. So they were paid to create that content, and then they used copyrighted work to create their work that they were getting paid for. So that would be commercial. So what I'm saying is that like people don't care. People steal images all the time. People screenshot things from Instagram. Obviously that's going to be really low resolution, and obviously anything from Pinterest would be the same. It's going to be really low resolution. Technically people might even be able to go on my website. Maybe I shouldn't be telling you this, but like I think you could probably go on my website and just save an image. Again, it would be low resolution. And so you could use it online elsewhere, but you probably wouldn't be able to print it or anything like that. So there's that whole situation. And then we have Unsplash in the middle, where you're just giving away your images. Like you're giving them away. People can take them, use them for their businesses. They can blow them up, put them on their walls. They could claim them for their own, basically. They could claim credit for their own. They could put it in their portfolio and you would never know. They could take credit for your work. They could get famous off of your work. Ideally, you know, the thought is that, well, hopefully these people will be respectful. Hopefully they will credit you when they use your images. Hopefully they will use them well, do them justice, all the things. But I use images off of Unsplash frequently, and I've never credited someone, partly because like a lot of the times where I'm using them is not somewhere that the credit would even be seen, really, if that makes sense. And so like I haven't credited other people. And so why would my work be credited when people use it? But basically, I have hundreds of images sitting on my hard drives doing nothing. I've printed some of them and that's great. You know, they're in photo books, awesome. But like no one's really seeing them. They're images, most of them that I have put on Instagram at one point in time that got very little, like people liked them, but then like nothing happens with it. Like I didn't get clients off of it. I didn't get anyone being like, hey, shoot my recipe book, or like, hey, do my product photography. Like nothing like that. Like I've never, not once, got a client, I don't think, because of these images. And these are not like my portrait photography. They're not portraits of me. They're not portraits of other people. Some of them are like styled shoots and that kind of thing. So what I'm saying is like these images are just there. I've tried to sell them as stock photography before, specifically on Stocksy. I've tried to become a Stocksy contributor multiple times. I've done multiple applications. I always get rejected. I think my work is not unique enough. Like they're at a point right now where which I think they've been this way for a very long time, that like in order to be an accepted contributor, they need to feel like what you're offering to their collection of images is like really valuable. And I think what I have is not like super unique, or it's too specialized. Like it's like not enough people are looking for this thing in stock photography, if that makes sense. And so I've tried doing that. I've tried doing other stock photography things. And part of the other problem is that my images are fairly heavily edited and stylized. And so a lot of stock photography, they want things that are very much not edited and not stylized. And the people that want that kind of look most often aren't going to be going to the typical kinds of websites to get that stock photography. They're going to be going somewhere like Stocksy. So if I could just become a Stocksy contributor, Stocksy, if you're watching, please accept me, please. I promise I'll do good work. But I mean, I understand, like I've gone on Stocksy before and searched for images that would be similar to mine, and there are tons of them. Like I get it. Like there's a lot that's not that different from what I do. So I just recently was like, you know what if I try putting some images on Unsplash? I've heard of people before, like their careers being made off of Unsplash, where like they put images on Unsplash and then they make connections with other people and then get work off of that. And so about a month ago, I uploaded photos for like the second time ever. For a long time, I had maybe 10 images on there. And so about a month ago, I uploaded a handful of photos. They were getting decent views. They were getting a handful of downloads. And I was like, okay, this isn't so bad. This isn't so bad. And then I just decided to do a purge. And I just like went through all of my hard drives from like years ago, and just started combing through, pulling out any and every image that I thought could be put on there. And at this point in time, I think I have a collection of about 500 images. Obviously, I didn't upload all of those. I wanted to hold off a little bit and just see where some of it goes. So within the last 2 weeks, I've put the like 300 about. No, yeah, I think maybe about the 300 photos, images on. And within the last week or so, multiple of my images have been put on the editorial feed, which is basically like the front page of Unsplash. So think about like if the discover feed on your Instagram was the first thing you saw, it's like that. And I have gotten so many views and so many downloads. I'll tell you the numbers, but you have to keep in mind, especially with the views, a view just means that someone scrolled past it. It doesn't mean that they actually clicked on it or looked at it, anything like that. It's kind of like Pinterest in the same way. But today I checked and I've had 7 million views and like 50,000 downloads. And I'm just like, what? Like, this is crazy. And in this, for me, there's always been a thing with me and like feeling really unsure of myself in photography. Sorry, I started to move forward then and I realized the sun is like really shining on my face. I've always been like, never been confident in myself. Always felt like I needed a reassurance from other people of like, hey, what you're doing is good. Especially I think today, there's so much photography. And so like as a photographer, it feels like you need that to know like, okay, am I just like everyone else? Am I standing out from the crowd? Am I doing anything special? And I still don't necessarily feel like I've gone my own way yet. I still feel like a lot of my work is just kind of copying what other people are doing, which to an extent, that's how inspiration works. To an extent, that's how art works, where you take inspiration from other people and you create, you know, your own amalgamation of that. But Instagram has never taken off for me, obviously. Like, I've been on there for, 8 years. And I don't think I've ever had more than 2,000 followers, which you could say like, oh, like followers and likes don't count or like, whatever. But like, it kind of does, especially when you see other accounts that are doing like less work or like putting out less quality of work, and then they're getting way more recognition and things like that. And you're like, okay, does that mean what I'm doing is not that interesting to people? Like, I just can't figure out, because like there's something about popping off on Instagram, I don't care what you say, like something about that is really validating, especially for someone who's creating art. Like, that says that people like what you do. And so when over years and years of like putting stuff out there, really not getting a lot of engagement, especially once the algorithm changed, things like that, like, then you just kind of start to question, like, do people actually want to see this? Is this something only I'm interested in? And I know that, like, hopefully, comment below. See how I got you there? Comment below. Are you interested in what I do? There's a handful of you, and I'm so thankful for you. Like, you, the handful of you know who you are, who love my work, who tell me that you love my work. Like, you're the only reason I'm still going. Like, it's because of people like you. I just am greedy. I want more, guys. We're gonna have to pause here because I need to check my phone because I'm helping someone. And short break. We'll be back. We'll be back in a moment. Okay, I have a feeling that I've been talking for far too long at this point. Maybe we can cut some of this down, because y'all have short attention spans. But basically what I'm saying is that as a photographer, at least for me, I've always really wanted the validation of views and follows and things like that, to know, like, I don't care. I don't know. I feel like I hear so many things all the time that's like, it's not about the views. And maybe it's easier to say that if you're not an artist, but like, this is the struggle of artists throughout so much time. Like, this has always been the thing of like artists doing work, not getting recognition, and then feeling discouraged because of that. And then it seems like there's this weird thing where some artists get recognized and then like their work blows up, and then some don't get recognized for their work until after they're dead, which is so sad to me. So basically what I'm saying is that I gave away these images And I don't know if I'll get anything back. I don't know if I'll ever get clients back. I'm honestly afraid of someone being like, reaching out and being like, hey, we would love to work with you, because then there's that pressure of like, okay, well now I have to deliver to a stranger like a high quality of work, and what if I fail? Because like this is so low cost. Like I can put things on here and they don't even have to be great quality. And it's not like the only thing that's going to happen. And that's the thing with Instagram too. Like the only thing that's going to happen if I don't put good things out is that, you know, I won't get likes or I won't get views or whatever. And so I'm a little bit terrified of actually like being successful, obviously, because then there's that extra pressure. But I put them out without the expectation of getting anything back other than, hey, my images are out here now, have them for free, maybe someone can use them. Because that's what like is frustrating. That's why I feel like Unsplash feels good at the moment, because I'm like, I have no idea what people are doing with these images. No idea. Like you don't know where they go. You don't know who's downloading them. Are they putting them on their wall in a creepy amalgamation of my photography? Maybe. That would be kind of cool. If so, if you did that, please send me a message of your gallery wall of me, of my work. Okay, so I think in summary, I think what I'm saying is that I'm really glad that I shared the images that I did. I don't think I'm going to share very many more at this point in time. I kind of just want to let these live in the world for a little bit. Because there's a possibility that the other images I have left could be used for something else. So what am I saying? I'm saying that it feels really good to get recognition. And if you've wondered about putting things on Unsplash before, know that you're not the only one. I still am not sure. I'm still not sure. I'm still just like, this is a horrible idea. I gave away so many images. And it's like, maybe there was something else I could have done with them. I don't know, but I feel like I've tried other things and they weren't successful. And so yeah, I just felt like they were going to waste. It was starting to feel like I was just hoarding. And so now I've taken the things that I've created and loved and I've put them out into the world and let people also love them. And so I wish I could have more feedback. Like I wish people could send me messages or something like on Unsplash so they could be like, hey, this is what I did with it. It looks so good. I'm so thankful that I could like have this photo to put on my wall or in my blog post. It was the perfect thing for my blog post. Like whatever it is like that. I would love to be able to see that more. Maybe I should just like reverse search my images. Should I do that? So anyways, I think that's all I have to say. I'm gonna take a couple photos while I'm out here, you know, and maybe upload them to Unsplash. So check out my Unsplash, go download the images, and yeah, give your stuff away. Is that all I'm saying? Be generous. It feels really vulnerable. I think that's the problem. So I think that's all I have to say. I know this was not very concise or maybe even made a lot of sense, but it'll let you into my thought process a little bit behind using Unsplash, and maybe it'll help you decide whether it's something you want to do as well. So funny story. Most of the locations that I utilize are public hunting land because they're infinitely better than like the state park. That's where a lot of like the pine trees are planted. There's like cooler trails. The places are just so much cooler. Okay. I don't actually know what season is happening now. And thankfully, like there's no one parked in the parking lot. I would never go to a public hunting spot where there's someone else's parked. Like it's just like etiquette, even if they're not there to hunt. Like if this was just a hiking spot, I wouldn't do it either. Like if someone was just hiking here, I would just go somewhere else. Hold on. I can't tell if people slow way down when they drive past the parking spot or if it's just my imagination. It's the second person that's driven by now. Anyways, so I was like out here, I was like kind of wrapping things up. I was like taking a couple photos and I turned and all of a sudden I saw in the tree a tree stand and my heart dropped. Not because like I'm not afraid of getting shot, anything like that, but I would just feel so bad and also so awkward if someone was like there. Surely if someone was there, they would have said something. They probably would have yelled at me for sure. like immediately. But I just had this 2-second thing where I was like, oh my goodness. Terrifying. It's like the same feeling you get when this happened to me recently at an Airbnb. You would like walk up the stairs and then you would like turn and there was like a huge full length mirror right there. And I can't tell you how many times that scared me, because I would be like, la 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 la, oh, it was just me. And, I yeah. Oh man, I just keep imagining like how awkward it would be if it was me, if I was in that stand, I wouldn't say anything. I would just sit there and be like, well, surely they're going to leave soon. Like, surely they're going to leave soon. And then I'll just leave and they'll never know I was here, you know? That's what I would do. And so if someone like that is there and then I all of a sudden saw them, can you imagine the mortification for both of us? Because I would have to be like, why didn't you say something sooner? And they would be like, I felt so awkward. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. You were just there. You were taking videos and I didn't want to interrupt you because I feel like that would be rude. And thankfully it's empty. It's empty. It's empty. It's fine. No one's creepily watching me, I hope. Because this debacle is not something I want other people to witness, for sure.